Imagine a teenager who, at the age of 15, was kicked out of his own mother's house because strangers on the internet were saying terrible things about him, because the weight of his own growing fame had become so unbearable that his own family could no longer handle the chaos that followed him everywhere he went. Imagine a young man who was banned from the most popular streaming platform on earth for a comment so vile, so deeply inappropriate that it made headlines around the world and threatened to destroy his career before it had even truly begun. Imagine a boy who was told he would never amount to anything, a boy who was ridiculed for his wild, explosive, seemingly uncontrollable behavior. A boy who was written off as a joke, a laughingstock, a cautionary tale about the dangers of internet fame. Now imagine that this same boy, just a few years later, would become one of the most recognizable faces on the entire planet, a global phenomenon with over 50 million subscribers across multiple platforms, a cultural ambassador who would be declared an honorary mayor of Lima, Peru, a man who would meet his idol, Cristiano Ronaldo, and reduce him to tears, a man who would race Olympic sprinters in front of millions of live viewers, wrestle in the WWE ring alongside some of the greatest entertainers in history, and command the attention of stadiums filled with screaming fans from Tokyo to London to Nairobi. This is the story of Darren Jason Watkins Jr., known to the world as IShowSpeed, or simply Speed, a name that has become synonymous with chaos, energy, passion, and the strange, unpredictable, and often brutal nature of fame in the digital age. But here is what most people do not realize about IShowSpeed. The screaming, the raging, the seemingly out-of-control persona that made him famous is not an act. It is not a character he created for the cameras. It is a survival mechanism, a shield he built to protect himself from a world that rejected him, a world that mocked him, a world that told him he was worthless. He is not just an internet personality. He is a testament to the power of resilience, to the ability of a young man to turn his greatest weaknesses into his greatest strengths, to transform his deepest insecurities into the very foundation of his success. He is a living embodiment of the strange alchemy of the internet age, where the things that make you different, the things that make you strange, the things that make you an outcast can become the very things that make you a legend. To understand IShowSpeed, you have to go back to the very beginning, to the quiet, unassuming streets of Cincinnati, Ohio, where Darren Jason Watkins Jr. was born on January 21, 2005, into a world that was completely unprepared for the force of nature he would become. He grew up in a modest household, a typical American kid who loved playing video games, riding his bike, and causing trouble with his friends. He was, by his own admission, a dumbass, a kid who was just trying to figure out his place in the world, a kid who was often in trouble at school and at home. He was not a prodigy. He was not a child star. He was not the kind of kid who was destined for greatness. He was just a kid with an intense personality, a kid who felt things more deeply than others, a kid who had a natural, almost supernatural ability to entertain, to make people laugh, to capture attention. He discovered his passion for gaming and online content creation early, and he saw it as a way to escape the mundane reality of his life, a way to express himself, a way to connect with a world that often felt distant and hostile. He created his YouTube account in 2016 when he was just 11 years old, a shy, awkward kid with a dream and a camera. But for years, his channel languished in complete and utter obscurity. He would upload gameplay videos occasionally, talking to himself in an empty room, averaging just 2 viewers per live stream. He was a nobody, a face in the crowd of millions of aspiring content creators, a face that no one recognized and no one cared about. He was streaming from his bedroom, talking to himself, dreaming of something bigger, something more, something that seemed impossibly out of reach. He was a kid with a dream, but he was also a kid who was desperately, achingly alone. The turning point came in 2021, when the world was still reeling from the isolation, the loneliness, and the profound psychological trauma of the COVID-19 pandemic. For Watkins, the pandemic was a crucible, a period of intense personal struggle that would ultimately forge him into the phenomenon he would become. He was struggling with his mental health, grappling with feelings of depression, anxiety, and a profound sense of aimlessness, and streaming became his lifeline, his only connection to a world that had suddenly become so distant and so strange. He threw himself into his content with a desperation that was both raw and compelling, a desperation that came from a place of genuine pain and a genuine need to be seen, to be heard, to be acknowledged. His behavior during live streams was explosive, unpredictable, and often violent. He would rage at games, breaking his keyboards, his headsets, and his monitors in fits of uncontrollable frustration. He would scream at the top of his lungs, his voice cracking with emotion, his face contorted with a passion that was both hilarious and terrifying to watch. Clips of his outbursts began to circulate on TikTok, and they went viral almost overnight. People were captivated by his energy, his authenticity, and his complete lack of a filter. He was not performing, he was reacting. He was showing the world his unfiltered self, his raw, unvarnished, completely unscripted personality. He was a volcano of emotion, and the world could not look away. The sudden fame was intoxicating, a dizzying rush of attention and validation that was both exhilarating and terrifying for a teenager who had spent most of his life feeling invisible. In April 2021, his channel reached 100,000 subscribers, a milestone that felt like a dream come true. 2 months later, he hit 1 million, and his life changed forever. He was a sensation, a viral phenomenon, but he was also a teenager who was completely unprepared for the scrutiny, the pressure, and the relentless, unforgiving spotlight that came with his newfound fame. He became a target for criticism, and his explosive behavior, which had made him famous, also made him a lightning rod for controversy. In December 2021, he participated in an e-dating live stream hosted by the controversial streamer Aiden Ross, a broadcast that would become one of the defining moments of his early career. The exchange between Watkins and another participant escalated into what was widely interpreted as a threat of sexual assault, a comment that was so shocking, so inappropriate, that it led to an immediate and permanent ban from the platform. He was cancelled, vilified, and humiliated on a global scale. The scandal threatened to end his career before it had even truly begun. He was a cautionary tale, a warning to every young person who dreamed of internet fame. The ban was a wake-up call, a brutal, humiliating lesson in the consequences of his actions, but it did not stop his downward spiral. In April 2022, a clip surfaced of Watkins playing Valorant, a popular first-person shooter game, in which he told a female player to get off the fucking game and do your husband's dishes, a comment that was so sexist, so demeaning,
that it sparked a firestorm of outrage across social media. The clip went viral, and he was permanently banned from all Riot Games titles, a devastating blow to his career and his reputation. He was vilified on social media, labeled a misogynist, a toxic figure, a terrible influence on his young fans. He was the villain of the internet, a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked fame and the corrupting influence of the attention economy.
The controversies continued to pile up, one after another, like a relentless avalanche of bad press and public humiliation. In July 2022, he live-streamed himself playing a sexually explicit Minecraft mod, an act of such breathtaking stupidity that it earned him a one-week ban from YouTube, a platform that had become his primary source of income and his main connection to his fans. In August, he was swatted while live streaming, a terrifying experience that saw him handcuffed by police in his own home, his face filled with confusion and terror as armed officers surrounded him. In November, he was accused of running a cryptocurrency scam, a claim that added another layer of scandal to his already tarnished reputation. And in December, he garnered controversy for racist comments directed at a Chinese football fan during the World Cup in Qatar, comments that were so ignorant and so offensive that they made headlines around the world. He was a walking controversy, a man who seemed to be determined to self-destruct, a man whose every action was scrutinized and condemned by a global audience that had seemingly turned against him. His personal life was equally turbulent, a chaotic whirlwind of conflict, rejection, and emotional turmoil. His mother, worried about the negative comments he was receiving online and the toll they were taking on her family, kicked him out of the house, a devastating rejection that left him homeless and alone at just 15 years old. He moved to Detroit to live with his father, sleeping in a room he shared with his uncle, a cramped, uncomfortable space that was a far cry from the glamorous lifestyle he had dreamed of. He was a homeless teenager, a failure in the eyes of his family, a laughingstock in the eyes of the internet. He had hit rock bottom. He had lost everything that mattered to him, and he had nowhere left to go. But he did not give up. He continued to stream, continuing to share his life with the world, even when that life was a living nightmare. He was determined to prove everyone wrong, to show the world that he was more than just a mistake, more than just a scandal, more than just a cautionary tale. He started to change. He started to focus his content more on soccer, becoming an obsessive and passionate supporter of Cristiano Ronaldo, a man whose relentless drive and determination became a source of inspiration for the young streamer. His passion for the sport was infectious, and it attracted a new, more mainstream audience, a demographic that had previously been unaware of his existence. He was no longer just a gaming rage streamer, a one-dimensional character defined by his outbursts. He was a personality, a cultural force, a man who could fill stadiums and command the attention of millions with nothing more than his charisma and his unwavering passion. He began to travel, broadcasting his in-real-life IRL streams from all over the world, showcasing his adventures to his massive global audience. He toured Europe during the UEFA Euro 2024, amassing billions of views and becoming a fixture at matches, his face plastered across television screens around the world. He toured the United States, drawing massive crowds wherever he went, and he announced his most ambitious project yet, Speed Does Africa, a tour that would see him travel to 20 countries across the African continent. The Africa tour was a turning point,
a moment when he transformed from a controversial internet personality into a global cultural ambassador. He was not just entertaining, he was challenging stereotypes, breaking down barriers, and showcasing the beauty, the vibrancy, and the incredible diversity of the continent to his millions of followers. He visited schools, ate local food, interacted with wildlife, and engaged with fans in ways that were both intimate and spectacular. His visit to Kenya caused a frenzy, with thousands of fans gathering to catch a glimpse of him, their faces filled with joy and excitement at the sight of their hero. He was declared an honorary mayor of Lima, Peru, for an hour, a symbolic gesture that recognized his immense global influence. He was no longer just an internet personality, he was a global phenomenon, a figure whose influence extended far beyond the digital realm.
His rise has been recognized by the most prestigious institutions and media outlets in the world. He has been named Breakout Streamer of the Year at the Streamy Awards, and he has been crowned Streamer of the Year. In 2025, Rolling Stone named him the most influential creator of 2025, and he was featured on the cover of Time magazine's Time 100 Sports list, a recognition of his immense cultural impact. He has appeared in a WWE ring, wrestling alongside some of the greatest entertainers in history, and he has raced against Olympic sprinters, showcasing his athleticism and his competitive spirit. He has signed deals with major brands like PepsiCo, a testament to his commercial appeal and his ability to reach a massive, diverse audience. He has become a new kind of celebrity, a man who has built a multi-million-dollar empire without a team, a league, or a traditional media network. He is the ultimate self-made star, a testament to the power of the internet to create fame and fortune from nothing but raw talent and relentless determination. But the old controversies have not disappeared. They are a part of his story, a permanent stain on his reputation that he can never fully erase. He has worked hard to move past his mistakes, and he has apologized publicly for his behavior, expressing genuine remorse for the pain he has caused. But the internet does not forget. The clips are still out there, the articles are still archived, and the judgment is still fresh in the minds of his critics. He is still a polarizing figure, a man who is loved and hated in equal measure. His fans see him as a hero, a symbol of resilience and authenticity, a man who overcame impossible odds to achieve his dreams. His detractors see him as toxic, immature, and dangerous influence, a man who has been given far too much power and far too little accountability. He is a man who is both a product and a victim of the very culture that made him famous, a man who has been shaped by the relentless, unforgiving machinery of the internet. The price of his success has been immense, a burden that he carries with him every single day. He has been forced to grow up in the public eye, his every mistake amplified and analyzed by millions of people who have never met him. He has been mocked, ridiculed, and threatened. He has been harassed and swatted. He has been the subject of endless speculation and gossip. He has had to learn to navigate a world of intense scrutiny and pressure, a world where his every word and action is dissected and judged. He has had to deal with the loneliness of his fame, the feeling of being constantly watched and judged, the sense that he can never truly be himself. He has had to learn to trust people, even when he had no reason to. He has had to learn to forgive himself for the mistakes he has made, to accept that he is a flawed human being who is still learning and still growing. He has been a child soldier in the attention economy, and the scars of that war are visible if you know where to look.
Behind the screaming, the raging, and the constant chaos, there is a young man who is trying to figure out who he is. He is a man who is deeply loyal to his family, a man who has bought his mother a house as a gesture of gratitude and reconciliation. He is a man who is passionate about soccer, a man who is fiercely competitive and determined to be the best. He is a man who is trying to use his platform for good, to challenge stereotypes, to break down barriers, and to connect with people from all over the world. He is a man who is still growing, still learning, and still making mistakes. He is, in many ways, an ordinary young man who has been thrust into an extraordinary situation. A man who is trying to navigate the impossible pressures of global fame with the emotional maturity of a young adult. He is a man who is defined by his contradictions, by his immense energy and his deep insecurity, by his desire to entertain and his need for validation, by his public persona and his private struggles.
His journey is a reflection of a generation that has grown up online, a generation that has never known a world without the internet, a generation that is redefining what it means to be a celebrity. He is a product of the attention economy, a man who has learned to monetize his every emotion, to turn his most embarrassing moments into viral content, to transform his deepest insecurities into the foundation of his success. He is a mirror reflecting the chaos, the creativity, and the contradictions of the world we live in. He is a man who has been shaped by the internet, and he has, in turn, shaped the internet. He is a testament to the strange alchemy of the digital age, where the things that make you an outcast can become the very things that make you a legend. Why should someone born today still care about IShowSpeed? Because his story is not just about a YouTuber or an internet celebrity. It is a story about the modern world, about the power of the internet to create fame and fortune, about the dangers of cancel culture and the importance of redemption, about the resilience of the human spirit and the ability of a young man to overcome impossible odds. It is a story about a teenager who was written off by everyone, including his own family, and who used his own flaws and failures to build an empire. It is a story about the strange and unpredictable nature of fame, about the profound loneliness of being watched by millions, about the desperate need for connection and validation. It is a story about a generation that has grown up online, a generation that is redefining what it means to be a celebrity, a generation that is navigating the impossible pressures of global fame. He is not just a streamer. He is a symbol, a mirror, a reminder that even the most unlikely people can achieve greatness, and that it is never too late to change, to grow, to become the person you were always meant to be. His story is a testament to the power of the human will, a reminder that our past does not define us, and that with enough determination, passion, and resilience, we can overcome any obstacle and achieve any dream.